Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here. Welcome back to another Cardano video. Today I'm sitting down with Kaaran from the Wingriders project. It's been a while since we talked. There's a lot has gone on with the DEX since we talked, and there's a lot going on with Cardano right now with stable coins coming, stable swaps. So we'll get into all of that. Kaaran, thanks for taking the time to come on again.
Thank you for having me again, Paul. Good to be here.
So let's give a 30-second what is Wingriders, and then we'll get into the latest. I'm sure most people watching will know what you guys are, but just for those that don't.
Yep, we're an AMM DEX on Cardano, and we can come and obviously swap different assets, and you can provide liquidity to liquidity pools, and you can farm, and you can get multiple gains on our platform. So that's it in a nutshell, really. So we're a DEX with multiple functionality, and now moving, as you mentioned, to stable swaps as well as a new addition to the platform.
Okay, so yeah, that's the high level. There's a few features have been added since we talked last. So you have Snap features, Harvest All. Do you want to go through some of them, some of the changes that have happened over the last while that I see as making the user interface a lot easier for people?
Yeah, as you mentioned, so there's been a lot of kind of developments and upgrades to the platform itself. So moving after the TGE, we started developing the governance UI, where obviously people who were holding the governance token WRT could see their WRT assets, whether they're vested in farms or in pools. So that was kind of one of the first developments. After that, really kind of the boosting feature was one of the major utilities of the WRT token, whereby holders would get a boosted yield, if you like, on the farms that they were farming on. And that was, again, another major sort of development milestone that we were sort of developing and launched it. What else? The governance platform itself now is live. So moving, as we've always been aiming to become a full-fledged DAO, now we kind of are. And the governance platform was a major development whereby proposals and voting and counting of those votes, and then kind of, the reporting of all votes is done on a very nice governance platform in our website, sorry, in our app, and you can see everything in one place. It's all on chain, very transparent. I suppose the proposal isn't strictly on chain, but it's stored in, in a way that everyone can see. So yeah, that's been major, as you mentioned. So the Harvest All feature is a very good one as well, saving lots of transaction fees. So if you've got multiple sort of farms that you're running and you want to harvest it, previously you needed to do kind of harvest each of them, and now you can literally with one function harvest all of those gains that you have in one place, and you can actually harvest to the boosting vault as well with one click. So all of these functions are I suppose functionality that brings a benefit to the end user, saving them fees and making things a little bit more convenient. Yeah, I mean, I suppose those have been some of the major ones that we've come, not to take too much of the time if you want to ask questions. Yeah.
Yeah. So I suppose, as you said, they're based on the user, making it easier for the user, saving some fees, which are great to see. Then the governance, I haven't done much on the governance yet, but it's good to see that the community can now have a say. And just on that, can anyone in the community submit a proposal? So if they want to change some fees or change something on the DEX, can anyone submit them, or how does that work?
Absolutely. Anyone who's obviously, anyone who's got WRT can vote, even if it's 10 WRT, you are a rider. So you have the right to come in there and actually put a proposal. Obviously, you have to put collateral in order to do that, but you get that back once the vote is completed and successful. So someone with 10, obviously, WRT can't put in the proposal. You have to put in a little bit more. We're still kind of in discussions with the community how to maybe change the collateral for the proposal. So you come in, you put a proposal, it goes into the kind of interplanetary file system where everyone can see it transparently what the proposal was, who actually submitted it, and what it entails. Then the vote is cast within the voting section of the UI of the app. And then again, transparently, all of those are sort of, you can see based on number of, if you like, outcomes of that vote, if it's a accept or not accept, or if it's multiple sort of tiers. You can see how many people are voting live and where it stands, the vote. The counting as well, we actually released some open source tools that you do need to be a little bit more technical, I suppose, but we thought this is also a very important part of the transparency of the system for people double checking the votes against what they see on the UI of the app. So that's also on GitHub, so people can use it and actually confirm it. So yeah, I think all in all, I would say it's very open, and open meaning that it's very easy to use for most people. There's no technical sort of prowess and they don't have to jump around. It's all in one place. And again, very transparent. So all the sections are there for everyone to see. The blockchain's there, obviously IPFS for the proposal, and all of those things I think are some of the advantages of the system. And we've just concluded the vote actually on Stableswaps, just concluded. And yeah, you know, the other part of it, which I haven't really discussed, is the community portal, if you like. The community portal is where you kind of start a discussion about an area that you may be interested in, or you may want to change or add, etc., whatever it may be. You start the discussion there, and once that discussion has some traction, you feel it's ready to go for through the voting and the proposal and voting process. That's kind of the way, the flow that it would go.
Okay, good. So I suppose if someone has an idea, they want to see if others agree with it before they put up the collateral to actually put it to a proposal, that's the first place to go. You touched on stable swaps there. That's what we're going to move on to next. So stable swaps are coming to Cardano, and I've seen you guys are out on testnet. I think you're the only one with anything out on testnet yet. There's other projects looking to build stable swaps as well. But how are stable swaps different to what you do with your standard AMM? I suppose people coming from Ethereum or other chains would be familiar with Curve, which is, I would say, probably one of the biggest stable swaps out there. But can you give the high level of what the difference is from stable swaps to, say, a standard pair on your DEX at the minute?
Yeah, yeah, I suppose we have to kind of first of all understand the type of DEXs that exist. So there's order book DEXs and AMM DEXs. AMM DEXs function very differently to order book DEXs, whereby you need liquidity pools in order to enable swaps to happen within them. And an AMM DEX uses a function or a formula in order to kind of come up with the exchange rate of those assets. Usually, most of the DEXs that are not stable swap DEXs, they use what's called a constant product function, which is essentially X times Y equals K. So X being the amount of each asset multiplied by each other must always give a constant, which is the K. These are great really for sort of volatile assets, but not really suited for, if you like, one-to-one value assets or equal ratio, equal value assets. So, you know, it's not ideal for exchanging USDT to USDC, for instance. The reason is because you get a lot of movement across the curve, which is like just a round curve like that, if you like, and if you've got big orders coming in, the price moves really sort of a lot across the curve, unless you got a lot of liquidity in there, and even then it's not really ideal for, if you like, stable assets. Now with a stable swap invariant, as it's called, it combines really the classic constant product function with another function which is called the constant sum, so X plus Y equals K, if you like, where those X and Y prices are the same of those two assets. And really what it does, it optimizes the peg at where kind of, if you like, the price sits here. It optimizes it by making it flatter. Therefore, you get less movement, less slippage, which is the main thing, and makes it much more efficient. And it's all about really efficiency, because stable, if you like, coins or stable assets, we'll call them, because it's not just stable coins, you'll have stable assets as well. They'll have very different parameters, you know, of how they operate, and you need a function like this to operate. And as you mentioned, the Curve founder Michael Egorov came up with this in a 2019 paper, and there are many models of it in other ecosystems. But I believe we are the first, definitely, to bring this to pre-prod today and mainnet very soon.
Yeah, I suppose there's one thing missing from bringing it to mainnet, and that is enough of stables to actually make it, to have the use case for it. So is it, once stables are there, I've used it on testnet and seems to be working very well. Once we have enough of stables on mainnet, is it ready to go live then, or will it be a while? Are we looking at another while before we see it?
Yeah, we're hoping it'll be imminent. As you said, we need the stable coins there. And just to kind of give a very quick high level, you've got obviously different assets. One of the reasons we use stable coins is for really providing a safe harbor for trading and sort of maintaining, if you like, your profits, but also maintaining, limiting your losses, right? And we haven't had that on Cardano. So it's a bit of a free fall in terms of the DeFi market. Obviously, you can do it on SEXs, but SEXs themselves, or centralized exchanges, I should say. So I'm not saying anything rude. The centralized exchanges themselves.
You get this video banned on YouTube.
yeah, I've just said SEX. But SEX is actually CEX. So centralized exchanges come with their own inherent risks, as we've seen with FTX. So, but in our ecosystem, they haven't existed. So literally, if you're trading on a DEX, you don't have a safe haven, and that's what a stablecoin does. So, for instance, you've profited well from a trade, and then you want to come out. How do you come out? The only way you can do it is to come to like a stable asset. So with a whole sort of a flurry of new types of, if you like, stable coins now coming to Cardano, which is great to see. So djed, I believe, is launching very soon. So that'll be kind of a algorithmic one. Then obviously there are plans to bring, I think, I know from multi-chain, bringing DAI, USDT, USDC to Cardano, and they are working on that sort of.
That's actually related back to a tweet that you put out, and I was wondering what it meant. It talked about bringing the liquidity in and swapping to Cardano stablecoins. So that's something you're working on at the minute. Is it through a bridge?
Yeah, we're not working on it. Obviously, we have to definitely separate ourselves. As great as it is to see all these assets coming through, including, bridges trying to connect to Cardano, they're not our projects. We don't audit them. It should be very clear that we have, no part in their success or failure. But obviously, when a bridge like multi-chain, which has 6 billion, I believe, TVL at the moment, 100 million trading volume per, volume per day, and it has 26. It's the biggest bridge, and it's planning to bring sort of DAI and USDT and USDC there. But with all of these assets, I would always caution, sort of do your own research, DYUR always, because really every one of them can be risky. I mean, a good example is, for instance, Luna and the depegging of UST, for instance, one of the biggest, 9th biggest project at the time when it obviously was active, and then the depegging happened, and voila, so it's gone. So we hope none of this obviously happens, in good faith, but all of them have it, even collateralized ones. If they're collateral, for instance, UST, you can't check really through an audit to see exactly that $1 to kind of the USDT backing.
Yeah.
It's a risk, isn't it, realistically? So yeah, but we're really looking forward to that. We are looking forward to it coming, and as you said, sorry to interrupt, so it will become live as soon as we get the kind of stable coins on there that we can sort of match 2 of them and build a pool.
So yeah, we touched on lots of different stable coins there. There's a lot of different ones building on Cardano as well. Some hopefully coming out soon, like djed, and also USDA coming from Emergo. I'm not sure what the latest is on that one, but again, that would be a fiat-backed stable coin, which I think will be great to have natively on Cardano. I know there's other ones building there as well that I don't think are ready to come out just yet. The ones you mentioned, the likes of DAI and USDC, I'd love to see them coming on to Cardano. As we said there, just about the risks, though, I would caution people on anytime there's interaction with a bridge, make sure you fully trust it. And personally, anything coming through a bridge, I wouldn't have everything all in that asset. unfortunately, within Cardano, we have seen previously with bridges what can happen with Nomad, and people, there was a lower volume came through at that stage. But stablecoins have been missing in the Cardano ecosystem for the last while, especially in DeFi, as you talked about trading there. When you go into a trade and you come out, you have profit. You don't want to go back into another volatile asset. Always you want to go into a stablecoin and sit out of the market and see where it goes. So it's great to have all of these different options. Hopefully someday we will see the likes of USDC or USDT maybe natively on Cardano as well. I think we're a while away from, there's some, I suppose there's rumors of the different blockers that they have to be paid, or that because they can't freeze them and stuff like that. So we'll wait and see how that goes. But Cardano is definitely building lots of alternatives themselves there.
Absolutely. I think it's a very important point. I mean, one thing we should always remember is that these not only bring liquidity, but also that stability that we talked about into our ecosystem. And those two sort of facets really help the ecosystem grow as well quicker. We've been called a ghost chain, sometimes a zombie chain in Cardano, but realistically, it's because of the lack of a lot of these basic, if you like, assets and facilities that other blockchains, like for instance, Ethereum has had. And we've been lacking that. And hopefully, as these come in, the ecosystem starts to grow more, and we'll flourish, and we'll no longer be a ghost or zombie chain, according to others.
Yeah, that's it. And like when you look across other blockchains, then generally the highest traded pairs are always going to be stablecoin pairs, because that's what people want to go in and out of, and that's what they use as their safe harbor as well. So I think over the next year, we'll really start to see TVL. It's not a metric some people like to use, but across the industry, a lot of people still use that as one of the metrics they measure on. And as we get more stable coins, and that will introduce more trading, I think we'll definitely see the Cardano TVL rise a lot further as the year goes on, and go past where we were even in the last bull market. I'd expect us to hit a lot higher on TVL, and that with more protocols coming online as well. But just on the stable swaps, will it all be in one DEX, one place with your current Wingriders AMM DEX? Will it all be in the one interface, or will there be separate applications for stable swaps?
Yeah, no, that'll be all in one place. So as you see, for instance, on the pre-production version of it, it's just indicated that it's a stable swap. So it will be running across sort of alongside, our other audited constant, if you like, product pools. So those have worked well, obviously, and they've all been audited, which is been functioning for nearly a year now, come April, and realistically, we're going to keep those, but we're just altering, if you like, the AMM section for the stable coins, if you like, and adding the stable swap invariant, as it's called, to those pools. As I said, we always think about sort of just stable coins, but there are other kind of stable assets and other applications it'll have. And the biggest advantages, if you think about it, are you get much lower slippage with these, and also the price impact is low. So price impact is if you come in with a very big trade into a liquidity pool, what's it going to do to the price that you're going to get in the end? And slippage is obviously slippage. The other good thing, I think, with stable swaps, and another benefit is really for liquidity providers and impermanent loss. This will hopefully reduce it significantly, these stable swap sort of pools, and that will obviously increase the if you like, the depth of the liquidity within the pools, and the generally sort of the fees that will be sort of earned by the liquidity providers. So it brings a lot of benefits to general pools as well.
Okay, yeah, and just what you said there on the same kind of pair assets, just for people who wouldn't get that bit, it's like if you had Indigo, you can create synthetic assets. So you could have IBTC, and then there's other protocols looking to create wrapped Bitcoin as well. So you could have, they would be the same assets, and maybe people want to trade between them. I presume you will support that type of trading as well, will you?
Yeah, I mean, nothing to announce at the moment, but we're always working on different functionality. Yes, absolutely. If it's something that's in demand, the community desires it, we try to develop it. Yeah, but I've got nothing really to kind of update you specifically on that at this present moment.
Okay, so just actually, some people might be wondering, why would you use stable swap? So I have a stable coin. Why would I want to go to another stable coin or something like that? Do you want to touch on that?
Yeah, I mean, it could be possibly because you want another pair that doesn't have that pair of the other stable coin. That's one thing I can think of that you might want to go into, and you might want to use it in a liquidity pool where you have to provide that kind of particular stable coin that you might not have, obviously. That could be one possibility of swapping from one stable coin to another.
Yeah, I suppose for me personally, it would be diversification as well. And that, like, no
Mm,
matter how much I trust one protocol or one stable coin, I generally would have it spread across a few of them. So have my risk spread across. So I'd hold whatever amount of stable coins I have. I would have that split up over maybe two or three different coins. And it means if the worst case happens, then at least you don't lose everything. You lose whatever percentage was in that one. And there will be other incentives. We see it with Curve as well, I think, where people try and build on top of it and build extra incentives to get involved in certain pools. So maybe people want to be involved in them pools and there's extra incentives. I think that's a whole new world to Cardano that we haven't just seen yet, with aggregators and different DeFi protocols that will be built on top. But
yeah.
anything else we haven't kind of covered today? What's coming down the line? So outside of stable swaps, what's next for Wingriders then?
Yep, you may have noticed when you used it, we have a zapping function as well. The zapping function is a zap in, not zap out function. So what does that actually mean? So you're holding, for instance, and this applies to obviously the stable swap pools. So for instance, you have only, let's say, one asset and you want to go into a pool, and the pool obviously is a dual asset pool usually. And you can just literally zap in that, and what happens is with this zapping function, it does the swap and add liquidity function all in one. So you don't need to go and swap and get the other asset in the equal proportions, and this is automatically done for you. So that's another really convenience feature, and also saves you kind of, more fees, etc. So that's a really good function that's also on pre-prod for you guys to have a look at.
Okay, great. Yeah, that's kind of linking in with what we talked about in the beginning, making the user easier for the user, that they have to do less transactions themselves as well, and hopefully less fees over time as well. I did see as well for the likes of the batcher fee, are you bringing in that you can use the WRT token for that as well?
Yeah, there's definitely plans for that. Absolutely. So that's all in line. But with development schedules, etc., everything gets prioritized to as many things as you can do. And I think it was a while ago when we discussed sort of the decentralization of the batching. But obviously, that itself is quite a big task, and you have to really kind of let things run to see what the weaknesses could be of that system, and obviously try to make it as strong as possible when you launch it and become sort of completely decentralized, where anyone can become a batcher. I think we had that conversation on one of our first interviews
Yep.
like this.
Yeah, whenever that model is out, I'll be interested on that one myself, on spinning up servers for that one as well. But is there
Excellent.
anything else before we close it off that we haven't covered here? We can touch base in another month or two as well to get the latest and see how things are going. But anything else that people should follow or anything?
I think that we've said it all. I mean, the only thing I would say is not much of a shill, but really, I mean, we are one of the platforms that give you multiple types of yields. With one kind of, if you like, liquidity provision, you can get up to 5 different types of gains from the platform. So really, come and check it out. You don't need lots of kind of liquidity, or if you like, tokens to actually try it out and see how it all works and see if it's really something for you. But we are quite proud of the fact that the Wingriders is trying to offer as many gains as possible. So that's the only thing I would say. And obviously, if you hold those initial FT tokens, you get sextuple. So that's another sex I've dropped there. So another
You're
sextuple
killing the
is 6
channel
types
here.
of gain. I'm sorry about that. I hope you don't get banned, Paul. But yeah, no, that's it really.
Great. Well, look, thanks very much for coming on, taking the time to give us updates on what's going on. We will touch base. I'll leave the links down below to, I suppose, your Twitter and maybe Discord. I'm not sure is the best places to keep up to date on the latest.
Yeah, Twitter, Telegram are kind of announcement channels. Come and join our community on Discord, and obviously wingriders.com. You can access the app through our website and give it a try.
Perfect. I'll leave them down below. Thanks for watching, everyone. If you got value, think this can help others, please do share it out. Subscribe if you're new. Comment questions or anything below as well, and I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching.